I'm André Nickel, and I lead the Jesus Center in Meissen with my team. In the lockdown time, we started very spontaneously a weekly impulse time on YouTube, and we wanted to keep the church connected and to share our hearts. For us, it was very important for the church to keep that we belong together so that we could encourage them through this crisis and come alongside them. And today I'm going to share the experiences we had for our online meeting. We had praise and worship, testimonies, sermons and interviews, so that we could really involve various folk in the church. And the church had that feeling we still connected and in contact with each other. At the same time, we noticed that we were actually reaching new people, people that had never come to our meetings. We realized that we were having members looking in and new people, guests. And so first of all, we started with a loaned camera from someone in the church with a microphone from the church, and we could record with all that. And then we had a free software that we downloaded that we could actually cut and record together. And so we first of all worked in our meeting place in our church building. Then we went to my office, and then we built a special stage with all the different decor. We had pallets, we had an old radio, and we had lights and lighting, and then we used our church's sound system. We began and we continually developed all our technology and our deco, and we could actually build up various stages. And then we kept asking ourselves, what can we do and how can we do it? And I just want to give you a few pictures now about our online meeting. Our stage setup, our technology, sound system, just the production team. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for our production team and all those that have worked with us for what they have achieved and what they continue to achieve. So maybe you don't have too much decoration or much sound equipment, and maybe you're not in the place to be able to buy it. Well, then you've got to think about who are the people in the church or friends who have something that can lend to us, or else maybe for a little bit of money can loan it to us. And then one asks well, where should we record this? You can do it from lounge, sitting room to sitting room, or in the normal meeting place for your church, or else you could build up a new stage like we have done. The point is, what do you want to convey? What is a good thing that will convey this well? And really, with very little, you can reach a lot. For us, it was important to start, even though it was very simple and we hardly had any experience. Rather begin than not begin at all. So what did we use? Okay, first of all, sound equipment. Use what you have. Fortunately, or thank the Lord, before Corona, we bought a new mixer. And so our sound guys had time actually to train themselves and learn about this. So by the time Corona came, they were already working with this and they could actually develop more techniques with this, especially for the online streaming. And our technicians were really prepared. So God had even that in mind. And then we used microphones. We had some of our own, but we also borrowed some. We had some video clips. There's some freeware for that, how to cut videos, or else you can buy some. And then we had a lot of lights and illumination. You can see behind me. And then we also borrowed quite a bit from people and then bought some as a church. We needed a beamer, a projector for PowerPoints and text. Then we had a teleprompter to read the moderation to help us with the sermons. Yes, in the beginning, we used to read everything, and then we had some meetings where we had the teleprompter next to the camera, so we could look at the camera, but we could look on the side just to get tips so that we're actually looking more into the camera. And then we had a screen for the PowerPoints and the songs. And then for a long time we had a screen where the camera would take me and the screen. And you could see the Bible verses for the sermon and see me at the same time. Before we would just fade in or insert the Bible verses. And then we had 2 or 3 cameras for the recordings, especially 2 at the same time for the speaker, and then another one just to have a bit of an alternating. Each camera costs about 4 to 6 euro, 600 euros. There's such a variation from a few hundred to thousands of euros for cameras. And then we had to get an interface on the YouTube that could cost about 500 euros. Then we had a cloud where we would load all our program systems, what we wanted to do. Then we need to also buy licenses for the online streaming just to make sure that all the legal dots were joined. And then, of course, we needed our workers, people that would use the camera. They would do the sound, they would mix, they would cut, they would do the pre-production, and then they would also work the lighting, the projector. With live, one had the live stream check and then the video clips. And then it was very important to actually supervise the video premiere. Because of live stream, you have to do that. And very importantly was the advertising on the social media, because this advertising is very important to inform our members, but other people out there as well, to advertise and present who we are and our meetings, especially when people can't see you live. And that was very important for our websites, for Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. Go to post there, and you need someone who's at the production, who's at the recording, so they can do photos, and they're close to the church. Their hearts are with you. They know how you tick, and they can actually represent you well out there. Because flyers and pictures are our showcase for our church. That's why it's very important to be communicating with the leaders, with the production team, with the leaders, what we are and how we want to present ourselves to the outside and how we want to communicate that. With the online meetings, we noticed that tension between, on the one side, being good. Yes, you want to do it really well, but on the other side, you want to be authentic, and we know we make mistakes. And that tension, that question is, how many mistakes do we allow? And when does one repeat a sequence where you know you've made mistakes? Because we do make mistakes, and sometimes they actually make a person very real. But on the other side, it can actually look as though you are unskilled, you're not making much effort, and it's not important for you. And that actually weakens the message that you're wanting to present. And so what is very important is that the heart of God comes through, and that our technology doesn't override all that. But we need to decide what is important. It's the message that is important, but even our technology has to link up one-to-one with the heart of God. So for our online meetings, you need the main leader of the production team who takes time to look at the project. He then builds a team and delegates where each person should be working. And with us, it developed. We had one or two people in the beginning. And I remember we started in my office at home. And it developed until we now have a team of 8 people per meeting. And this has been an opportunity for people to develop their skills and giftings. And we've also managed to be able to really gain young people to work with us. They're people with a heart after God and after people, and they can think with us. We're going to say, is the church alive? Is it creative? Is it relevant? Is it keeping up with the times? Are they open to non-Christians? It's such a challenge when you realize how many people are watching us. Is the decoration old school? Does it look like it's cheap? And I don't mean financially cheap, but does it just look old and cheap? And that's why we could ask each other this, and we wanted it special for people that were tuning in. On the other side, one needs to think, what is the use of a perfect performance of an online meeting when the shepherding in a church isn't even working? So you could have a false picture of who or what a church is. For example, people watch a meeting and think, wow, they're cool, they're amazing. That is a church, it even looks better than mine. But the outward picture could actually be deceptive, because church is more than a successful online meeting. Church is about us together, but it also is an important how we are presenting ourselves. So an online meeting shouldn't be too long, maybe 60 to 70 minutes maximum. People can't listen for too long. And they distracted far faster at home. Hello, are you still there? Okay, good. And then the question, the pre-production or live. Well, both have good sides, because if you do a pre-production, you can cut out the mistakes, or you can tweak those things that you want. Maybe you made some stupid joke and you want to get rid of it, so you can cut that out and begin again. But then again, it can start looking as though you're trying to be perfect, and that can be a bit much when you keep having to redo scenes. Well, in the beginning, we began like that because we wanted to do it really well. But live is live. And there you actually can't cut out any mistakes. The advantage is that you don't need hours of cutting and producing and everything, but you do need a bigger team. And on Thursdays, we did the pre-production when we still did it that way. And fewer people could be involved there, but it was all right because we didn't need that many. Then we decided on Sunday live meetings. And for live, you really need more workers, which is actually better for Sundays because there are more people there. So, for me, I noticed personally in my experience, the pre-production, I just realized that I could be far freer in the live. The pre-production, I had to be more formal, and how do I say it, and it needs to come across well, and it's difficult when you're not seeing who is looking, and there isn't that interaction. You can't see how they're responding. There's that lack of contact with real people, and it's difficult to orientate yourself. And I used to hang on to concepts then of how to do this or how to do that, because I had to be, Now I just realize live, I've got to be very careful of how I say things as well, but it also helps me to be freer and more authentic. So we allow mistakes. We're more relaxed about them because, you can't change them in any case. And it's also nice for the people that are watching and they know this is live. They have that feeling, hey, this is happening right now. And we're here right now. With live, we can also have an interaction between what's been showing and the people watching. Through WhatsApp or SMSs, we can actually share prophetic words. They can bring that online and so on. So we try to involve the church in an interactive way online. And that's where it becomes a real church feeling live. And if you think that everyone who leads or preaches on a live meeting, they are representing us as a church. So how do you want to be perceived out there? So it's very important that this person knows the church, knows the heart of the church. And then just to clarify, does everyone want to be shown in the internet? Do people, the children, the youth, the older folk, do they want their faces to be seen? What about the films and songs and everything? Everything has to be checked out with licenses and legal. You need licenses. What we realized is after every recording, we gave feedback to each other. The team came together and we gave feedback. What could we do better? What was good? And this really cemented us as a team. Every church needs to look for themselves. Which way is the best for me? With the workers that I have, with the resources that I have for me. That means don't compare yourself with other large churches that have lots of technology. They do it amazingly, colorfully, and what is good though, that is good, but you've got to decide, what can I do with what I have? What do I want to reach? You need to set a focus or a goal and decide what are we going to do and what are we not going to do. When Corona came, we had to also decide. We want to keep in contact as a church. What should we do? What will we manage as a church? What do we need? Many questions were asked, and we decided then for us we would keep the focus on the online meetings and then send messages with WhatsApps and so on. And at the same time, we decided we wouldn't have a children's ministry meeting. Although we do have a lot of children, we decided that we could use the resources that other churches were making available. The body of Christ strengthens each other. It's just wonderful. Every church brings what they have in their giftings. And recently we had a new challenge because we've got the live churches now where we can meet together. So we do that, and we stream in a room, and we also have YouTube, and that's a new development. There are new parameters and new things that we have to think about, and we are developing and we're continually learning. Yes, we do make mistakes. Yes, it often carries on the way we don't want it to, but each time we know we're a step further. You can, with very little, reach a lot. So in closing, I want to ask you a question. How does one eat an elephant? Huh? Exactly. Piece by piece. And exactly in that way, Jesus is building with you, with me, with us. He's building his church and even his media church. So begin. Do what you have with what you have. We know that 5 loaves and 2 fishes, Jesus did a whole lot. And I wish this for you, for all of you, that you would make a difference in your world. Be blessed.